I am a corporate recruiter, the Headless Headhunter, and I'm here to review your resumes so that you can get ahead of the job market. So the first person we have up is a business analyst. Now, they said business analyst, strategy, and consulting roles. I was not able to find a big difference between them, so this is broad spectrum business analyst keywords. It may not be 100% correct, but it should be at least mostly correct. What we're going to be looking for is SQL, any type. Usually, it's actually kind of interesting that when a company says SQL, they honestly usually mean almost any type of SQL. It's kind of weird like that, which isn't really the case for a lot of other stuff. Data analysts, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, cross-functional from IC, which is individual contributor, which is non-management to stakeholders and managers. You can multitask projects and explain complex topics to non-technical people. This is huge. This part right here is massive. Excuse me. And this is what most people miss out on their resume, specifically for like business analyst, is you are the person that parses the data. You are the person that goes like, hey, this is what the data actually means, and you need to show me that you can explain it. In addition, I do need Excel, advanced, we're talking like pivot tables and VLOOKUP and all that stuff, along with Word and PowerPoint. This person's ratio is 100 to 1, which is not good, and that means it's 100 applications to 1 interview. So ideally, we want a minimum of 50 to 1. 50 to 1 is not great, but it's a passing grade, so we want to move that down. So before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. And if you need more help, go to my Twitch. That's where I look up the keywords and I give people a little bit more help, like how to find the keywords, offer letter stuff, all that kind of stuff. I just can't really do it in the video. Twitch.tv/headlestheadhunter. And away we go. Also, this person did say that they had gotten some offers, or they've not been able to convert them to offers, even though they've gotten interviews. And that is something I can help on the channel. Can't really do it here because the resume's only goal is to get you an interview. If a resume is getting you an interview, it's done its job. That's the entire point of the resume. After that, it's a bunch of other different stuff, different tactics and techniques you can do, which I do know, but it's highly competitive too. So anyway, let's look at the actual resume. So, away we go. Formatting is bad, but not the worst. So, what I want is the formatting to look like this. The purpose of formatting is specifically to be easy to read. This is hard to read. I have to find this stuff in 15 seconds. I spend so much more time on these videos looking at these resumes than I would physically be able to in real life. We have 15 seconds to look it up. So, education is up at the top. That's good. None of this should be bolded. None of that should be bolded. It should be 10.5 Arial, and it should be a max of 2 lines. I don't really think there's anything here that needs to be this many lines. This in your GPA can fit into 1 line. This can fit into line 2, and then we're good. So then we go to professional. Nothing here should be bolded. Again, professional experience should be bolded, but this little line shouldn't have it. So, senior business analyst, codified bulk magics discount and promotion engine by benchmarking 5 peer, mining psychological pricing research and translating findings into tiered bulk buy and group buy rules that now guide every beta checkout. I don't know what any of that means. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for discount and promotion and codifying your benchmark peer thing. I'm looking for this stuff. There's a metaphor I'm going to steal from somebody else on LinkedIn, but it's kind of like going to a fast food place and saying, hey, I want a burger and fries. And the person comes back and is like, all right, here's your spaghetti and your orange juice. And we're like, cool, that's not what I wanted. This is the stuff I'm looking for. It's good to have a summary of your job duties as the first one, but that summary needs to be so incredibly basic a toddler can understand, and that's not an exaggeration. This is why you're not getting interviews. There's like nothing here. Train the company's first price prediction model with accuracy, led weekly team sprints with product engineering ops. So this is good because it shows that you can work a little bit of cross-functional. Inventory 90% plus. What 90? What goal? I don't know anything about you. I don't know what bulk magics discount and promotion engine. I don't know what you did to it. I don't know anything here. Where's the Excel? Where's the you talking to stakeholders? This is solid because it shows that you worked cross-functionally. I challenge people to understand what this is. Because remember, the person reading this probably does not have industry knowledge. And it's possible that the person hiring you doesn't either. There are non-technical managers that need to hire a subject matter expert on their team that left. So Weekly cross sprint. I mean, the weekly cross sprints is fine. Suspended, spearheaded. All multi-department data is good. Tableau dashboard, good. I don't care about your savings. So here's the thing that I have not explained well, and this is on me as a recruiter, and I'm sorry to all of you. So this is me apologizing. I have said before that your achievements don't matter, and that's not quite true. You can, in fact, have percentages in your resume. The thing is, you need to keep them very sparse. In this whole thing, you should only really have like 2 to 4 percentage points. Those if your metric is not understood by a layman with no knowledge of your industry, it's not a good metric in the resume. So there's too many things that are not understood. You wrote this so that only other business analysts could understand what you do. Maybe not even then. I don't know. I cannot speak. I've hired plenty of business analysts. I don't know what y'all do. I know that this is what I'm looking for, and this is how you get hired. And I have hired people faster than other recruiters in it, but I don't know enough about this. ETL pipelines are probably not needed for this either. So yeah, there's like nothing here that I need. You need to redo almost all of these bullet points. I'm looking for SQL. I'm looking for data analysis. I'm looking for Tableau. I did see that once. Power BI, Looker, cross-functional, which you did have, which was good. But I only saw the IC. I didn't see the stakeholders or managers, really. Could have been either IC or managers, but I still would like stakeholders. Kind of saw multitask, but I need to show that you're an expert. You in fact have shown me that you have failed at one of the most important keywords with this resume, which is explaining tasks and projects that are complex to non-technical people. One of the biggest tests for a business analyst is their resume easy to understand? And this is not. So I'm not trying to pick on you. I just want you to I want you to be able to get a job, and you need to explain all this in a simple way, especially for somebody as a business analyst. Your job is to take the complex and explain it. And right now this is all complex and I'm too dumb for this. And that's why you're not getting any interviews. So if you want to know how to translate those interviews into offers, come on my stream. I can help you with that. But for resume wise, there's a lot you can improve here. I barely see any bullet points I want. It's way too complicated. You over-engineered it. A toddler needs to understand this. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a SDR, or sales development representative. And they have a ratio of 75-1, which is not good, but not the worst. Like, that's like a D-. So you don't need a lot to bring it up. So let's see what we're looking for, which was actually pretty clear. These were in most of them. Fluent in English. This was specifically in the UK, by the way. So that's why they have that. In the United States, you do not want to have that on your job description because it could potentially go against EEOC standards. Also, if they're not fluent in English, they won't realize that that's a requirement. So it's kind of doesn't really do anything to the job description, but that's not relevant to job seekers. So we're going to be looking for a C1 level or fluent English. I don't know what C1 level is. We're going to look for B2B, UK market in particular, because again, this is UK role. CRM, SDR, just the words SDR, which is also sales development representative, which you need to make sure you spell out at least once in case they do not know what SDR stands for. MSP, SaaS, don't actually need to spell out SaaS. SaaS is one of those very few things that people use the acronym more than the full word. Stands for software as a service. That you have booked meetings, and in particular for sales roles, you do need to show how you succeeded. Sales is one of those where you kind of do need to show a brag or two just to show that, like, this is what you did, right? Like, this is how you did it. So, friendly and results driven. Why does that matter? Sales development representative with passion for tech sales. I don't care. I don't care if you're passionate about it. I don't mean to be rude, but like, passion does not generate the monies for the company. That's not what they're looking for. They do want people to be passionate, but they typically want them to be passionate about the company, less so than the overall role, which I feel like is not a great thing. I feel like ideally you do want a candidate to be passionate about the job, but every single person says they're passionate, which means nobody is passionate. Generated over 25K in pipeline within 3 weeks and aiming to grow into a sales engineer role. That means nothing to me. 25K over 3 weeks could be very impressive. It could not be very impressive depending on the type of sales. So again, I don't think a summary is needed. If you've graduated with a BA, you should put that up top. Otherwise, do not put it up top because a couple of the job experiences ask for them. So, lead technical recruiter. All right, we're a recruiter. I'm down with that. Placed 45 cloud DevOps and SaaS professionals by sourcing top tier technical talent. I mean, that's good, but so here's the thing. This is where I personally disagree. I know I have some takes that people disagree with. This might be my most disagreeable take ever. I don't think recruiters are in sales. I think business development is the only sales part of recruitment. That is a hill I will stand on. Is I don't think recruiters are sales. I think when you try to do sales from a recruitment perspective, it ends up failing, with the exception of biz dev. So getting the business is sales, but after that, I don't think it's sales. Screen candidates on APIs, microservice, and cloud. I don't know why every L in this is bolded. That's really, really weird. Every L in this resume is bolded. Is this like a secret message? Is that why did it do that? I am completely distracted by look at this. Every single L in this resume is bolded. Nothing else is bolded but the letter L. And the letter I here. Okay, I feel like there's like a secret code I'm missing. But anyway, this is not related to the actual experience. Built strong relationships with hiring managers, boosting B2B client retention. This can be used ATS CRM tools to streamline candidate operations. Again, so here's kind of the issue with this is there's a couple of things, but you really have to focus on the biz dev aspect of technical recruiting, which if you were a full desk or 360, whatever they want to call it, recruiter, then you probably did. So you don't want to necessarily focus on placements because they don't really care about placements for sales development, but they do care about biz dev. So we want to focus entirely on the biz dev. And it's good that you have CRM tools, but I don't know if those are going to be the same ones. And placing people that are SaaS professionals is a little bit different than working in a SaaS area. So I think you kind of need to redo this. And please tell me why every single L in one of the I's is bolded. This is freaking me out. Generated 25K pipeline in 3 weeks by engaging 150 outbound leads. This is good. See, this is where it sort of shows a little bit more. I would like to know in what area, because this is a thing called sales development representative, make more placements. I don't know what that is, like. Is this still recruitment? I'm a little confused. By itself, the bullet point is okay. I just want a little bit more about what you did here. Qualified prospect view, discovery calls, and secured appointments. That's solid. Improve CRM hygiene and forecasting accuracy. I don't know if we really want to say improve the hygiene. It's a little too technical. Like you don't want to use too many like flowery words. But I do like CRM. But also, what CRM was it? Because like that can matter. Built a multi-channel outreach strategy across LinkedIn, email, and phone. This is good. So yeah, you have this is sort of what I thought is a D- resume. And the biggest problem is that you were a recruiter, and I'm saying that as a recruiter, is that this part of this does not read like sales. So the problem is they see this, which is like, okay, not great, but okay. Then they see this, and it's like, this isn't actually what they're looking for, except for this bullet point. And then you get to here where this is actually really solid what we'd be looking for. So I would say focus this and focus on when you go to the like technical recruiting part, focus more on the biz dev than the actual candidate experience. Cause I just don't think the candidates are going to get you a job for a sales dev. So you need to focus on the biz dev. And for the love of all that is holy, why is every L bolded? Please tell me that. I'm going to go to bed tonight just pondering this resume because it has baffled me so much on that. But otherwise, some of these are good bullet points. Some of them are bad. Focus up a little bit more on the keywords. So again, I'd like a little bit more about the market. I'd like a little bit more about I think you did SDRs. No, I need a little bit more about SDRs. I need like what type of CRMs you used. And maybe one more, and maybe clarify this brag a little bit about like, how did you generate that by like the leads? What were those leads of? So you just need to add a little bit more stuff. I don't think it's going to take you a ton more, and make sure you're actually typing in sales development representative rather than SDR or sales dev rep into LinkedIn, because the difference in the amount of jobs it shows is massive. So let's go to the next resume, and I'm just going to be thinking about why everything is bolded in this every L. Next resume. This is a Java full stack developer. Now, admittedly, this developer is in France, and I could not read the job postings in France to get the keywords because I do not speak it. So we had to look at the keywords in the United States. So hopefully they're equivalent. What we're going to be looking for is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Angular, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, TypeScript, SQL. Those are arguably the most important ones. So everything else past this, I would say we don't need all of, but you definitely need those. Also, a lot of them specify NoSQL instead of SQL, but if you have any of the SQLs, it should still be okay. Then we need RESTful APIs, microservices are huge, CI/CD, IAC, which is infrastructure as code, DevOps, Docker, Kubernetes, Cloud is great, Git, and Agile, and then your education. So this person says they've been on the lookout for a job for about 6 months. They're currently unemployed, but they're not specifying that in my resume because recruiters ignore people without a job. That's not actually true. While some recruiters do, obviously people are going to people. Most don't. And if you get hired and it says present and they see that you were lying on your resume, you could lose your job that you just got. So don't do that. Put when you got left. If you're like a month off, it's not a problem. But if you're 6 months off, you may lose the offer that you got in the background check. Now, admittedly, I don't know enough about French background checks, so maybe they don't check that. I don't know. I've not recruited in France. So, but yeah, please put your actual dates, because you don't want to get an offer and then lose it because you lied about the dates when the dates aren't that important. Seriously, candidates vastly overestimate how powerful a gap is. It's not really that powerful. We don't really care that much. Once it gets to like 2 to 3 years is when it gets a problem. But if it's under a 2-year gap, just leave it there. You're going to make it worse. So I can't scroll up because this person fully docs themselves. So this is the only thing I can show you. Formatting's not great. It's not the worst, but it's not good. Again, I want it to look like this. TOL and internal dedicated security. Again, there's nothing here. I don't care about a mission. Project TOL. Writing detailed technical for RESTful APIs. There we go. That's something I need. So yeah, there's nothing here I need besides RESTful APIs. You can't just say this. I need to see how you did it. You did get some of these correct though, and I think the fact that you have struggling to get interviews shows that this is not working. So formatting, fix this. I need to know how you use Java, how you use Spring, how you used REST, how you used Agile, how you used HTML, CSS, and JS. Doesn't have to be crazy. Just like created a front end using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and a back end using Java, which allowed us to do X. Also, do not abbreviate JS as Java. Do not abbreviate JavaScript as JS. You can have Angular JS, you can have a Node.js, but never just do JS because the recruiter may not realize it. So you need this stuff here. Developed a new search mail functions with the application, refactor code base. I'm not looking for any of this. This is not what I'm looking for. Implement CI/CD, good. Deployed and managed Docker containers orchestrated with Kubernetes on AWS. This right here, this is a good sentence. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. This right here is how I want you to write everything else, because this is a near perfect sentence. Deployed and managed Docker containers, which can be a keyword. I don't know if I put it down, but I saw it in a couple. Orchestrated with Kubernetes on AWS, which is cloud. So that's what I need. I need you to write the rest of it like that. I need these things there. Although admittedly, maybe it's different in France. I can't read that. So also your education should be up at the top. So remember, education up here. Do not lie about your dates. Otherwise, it's not a big deal until you get an offer and you fail the background check. And then you would have gotten the offer anyway, so you just hurt yourself. Please do not do that. Then describe your duties in such that a 12-year-old can understand, and then write the rest of your bullet points like this. This is what I'm going to looking for. But yes, this resume definitely is not good. There is a reason it is not succeeding. Did you tell me its ratio? You did not. You just saying you've been looking for that. So yeah. So please do not lie about your dates. It's going to hurt you. Nothing's worse than seeing a fantastic resume and you put it in and then they get declined in the background check because they lied about the dates. And then when you look at the resume, what they lied about didn't actually matter, but it mattered that they lied in the first place and that you would have gotten them the job if they just told the truth in the first place, because the rest of the resume was great. Now, admittedly, the rest of the resume is not good, but the gaps are not the issue here. So fix that, fix the formatting, fix the bullet points. Honestly, probably just have to start all over from scratch and write the rest of your sentences like this. This is actually how I want you to write your sentences. This is a good bullet point. Do the rest of it. So next resume. This is a data analyst resume in Canada. So the keywords between the US and Canada for data analyst are mostly the same, but I had to update the list a little bit. So we're going to look for SQL, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, Python, R, that you are a subject matter expert, that you've used data visualizations. Looker Studios is more Canada-based, apparently. I have no idea why, but it is. ETL, talk to stakeholders. ETL is extract, transform, and load, I think. And then solve issues with data. And very much in a lot of Canadian job descriptions, Microsoft Access, Outlook, and Suites. And Jira. So seriously, you actually do need these. They're in a ton of job descriptions in Canada for some reason. So this person's ratio is, we don't know. They just started searching and they're looking for data analyst jobs. So first off, this is a nightmare of a resume. When people talk about bad formatting, this is why. There is so much here that I'm not going to be able to find what I need. And I challenge people to take 10 seconds to find those keywords here. Don't bold them either, because it's bad. And again, they can't be here. So their eyes are going to go to here, and then they're going to go down, and then they're going to find nothing. So this is a nightmare that hurts me to read, and I'm not trying to be mean, but there is a reason that my formatting is the way it is, which I got rid of on another tab for some reason, but please use my formatting down below. Make it simple, make it clean, make it clear, and you do not need a summary. You also don't need a skills section. So let's see if we can try and find what we're looking for. So automated volunteer data plus 87. Why would you bold 87? Stop bolding. Anything under the work experience should not be bolded. You do not need anything bolded here. Using a Python API. So Python is good. PostSQL, okay. And reducing manual work and ensuring consistent voters. Integrated a DNC tracking page. Dashboard is okay. Using Python, good. And SQL. Again, we only have Python and SQL. Python and SQL. Python and SQL. SQL. Look, those are keywords, but you don't need all of these. I want to be clear. People don't need all the keywords. You don't have to meet a job 100%. People think you have to meet 100%. You don't. It's usually about 75%. Honestly, sometimes it's 50%. But right now, the only thing I've seen, and this entire thing, which means half this, is just SQL and Python. It's good to have. You don't want that to be the only thing there. And again, your education should be up top. That is pretty important. So let's look below. Design and implement a center vendor. Again, I don't care about provisioning time. The purpose of a brag is to show that you can do it, and they need to be understandable to a layman, and these are not. Data framework. Again, SQL. Yeah, there's like nothing here. SQL. All right, so here's the problem. This entire thing, the only thing I've found of this list is SQL and Python. That's it. Your entire first page is wasted. You need to redo all of this. What I need is SQL. Good. I also need Excel, Tableau, Power BI, Python, which you did have. R, it's okay to not have. Ideally, we'd have it. That you are a subject matter expert, that you have data visualizations, that you've used Looker Studios, that you have ETL, that you've talked to stakeholders, and that you've solved issues with data and have used Microsoft Access, Outlook, Suites, including Word, PowerPoint, and Jira. Those were on the job descriptions. You cannot not have those. That is why you're getting rejected, is you don't have any of those. There's nothing in this resume I would need. Because remember, I don't care about this. You cannot have a skills section. I'm sorry. I don't know who keeps perpetrating this myth, but you don't need a summary, and a skills section isn't needed because your bullet points need to be here or they don't count. And if your bullet points and your keywords are in those, then you don't need a skill section because it's irrelevant. So either at best, it's superfluous. At worst, it's actively harming you. So please redo everything. I wish I didn't have to say that, but this is what we're going to be looking for. You can check out the job descriptions. This is what they're looking for in Canada. For specifically a data analyst, they are looking for this. They are looking for Microsoft Access, Outlook, and Suites. I know that that's basic, but if it's basic and should be assumed that you have it, it needs to be in your resume twice. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack developer. So, as per usual, what we're going to be looking for in a full stack dev is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Some jobs wanted like Java and Kotlin, but most of them wanted Python instead. But so Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD. Cross-functionally is a bonus, and bonus points is the word architecture, any additional languages, and Git. So formatting-wise, this is mostly good. I do wonder if this is 10.5. That's why I'm switching this back. I feel like it's not 10.5 Arial, but it's a little clumped up more so than I normally look at it, but we'll see. So, Headmore Headhunter. That's pretty good. All right, so we have the degree. So when you have your degree, you don't need to put when you started. You only need to put if you graduated or the year you graduated. So I don't need to know how long you were in college. I just need to know that you graduated. This is parent company. Okay, so this was all under the same thing. That's fine. Okay, I see what you did here, and this is okay. Even though it's like this, I would still move this over to here just to on this little section to make it clearer. But this is how you would write a multiple roles in the same company. So, built a scalable design system using TypeScript, React, good, Tailwind CSS, HTML, Storybook, and React testing library, accelerating UI across multiple React. Okay, so here's a little bit of a weird thing. Obviously, I can't code worth anything, all right? But in the job descriptions, they don't say Tailwind CSS. They say CSS. They don't say Storybook, and they do say React, but they don't say React testing library. They just say React. So you want to kind of just shrink this down a little bit, so you don't necessarily need the word Tailwind. You don't need this section because you already said React. And you don't need Storybook. I would still prefer JavaScript, but I do need JavaScript and HTML. So I would switch out what I just said there for JavaScript and HTML, which I assume you did. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm not a coder. I just know what they want to do when they hire them. Then translated Figma designs into reusable atomic component tickets. This is a little technical, and collaborated with both UI UX designers and product teams to plan. So this is not terrible, but I would like you to be able to put in a keyword here, right? Like, instead of translated Figma designs into atomic components, maybe worked with our UI UX designers to create components in, I don't know, Angular, which I translated from Figma or whatever. So there's not, you want almost everything to have a keyword. Onboard engineers to React mono repo, architecture, clean architecture is good. Design and tech. So this is okay. Again, you already used React. We just need a little bit of the other stuff. So you can put React in one or two others. Architected applications, this is phenomenal. Using React, great. And DDD, I don't know what that is, and I don't think I care. And set up Jenkins, don't care about Jenkins. Do care about CI/CD pipelines to enable high-velocity deployment. So what you really have, this should be higher up. Truthfully, this should be like your second bullet point where you just say, architected applications using React to set up CI/CD pipelines to enable high-velocity deployment. Led development of front-end projects consisting of React.js, Jest, and Learn Manage. So the problem is there's a lot of extra stuff here. I do like how you put down the sentences, though. You just kind of have too much, because yes, you can't have too many keywords. Specifically in engineering resumes, the problem is you can have too much extraneous stuff, but this is pretty good. So my biggest problem right now is I don't see HTML and I don't see JavaScript, which are pretty huge. I do know that I see a little bit of that stuff down here, which is it. And Cloud. I would like Cloud. So if anything, maybe we just shrink this so that your first sentence here shows that you did RESTful APIs, Python, SQL, and AWS. So we split off too many of the wrong ones. Because out of all, like, the order of importance of this is this side first. So TypeScript / Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. Then I would say it's probably Angular, SQL, and Cloud. Those would be the things that are most important, and ideally we see those in the first 3 bullet points. Maybe it's not possible, and that's okay, but if it's not, then we really want to shrink this down so that they see this stuff first, because there's some good sentences down there. So would this pass? Probably. Biggest issue is, again, there's too many words, and the recruiters might miss what they're actually looking for in this. Because if they know IT, which they may not, this is not bad. I like it. The only other thing that I would add, and this is only if you wanted to go for leadership positions, like leading a team. For lead devs, we want to show not just how you led the development of the front-end project, but more so how you led the people. But otherwise, I think this is okay. I think this is maybe like a C- because there's too much extra stuff. So if we pare it down a bit, we'll get more. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of and I'm going to use this in quotations, graduate aerospace engineer. So the biggest problem with this is aerospace engineer is not a job title, nor is it a description of duties. Because you could be like the engineer that works on the wheels of the airplane. You could also be the engineer that works on the paint of the airplane to make sure it doesn't strip off, or the engine, or the circuit boards of that the pilots use, or anything else that beyond what I'm thinking of. So the biggest problem with this flat out is that I don't know the job title of this, because mechanical engineering is usually divided into what you're working on, whether that be like circuit boards or engines or, I don't know, floop-de-doops, whatever other people call them. But yeah, so it's really going to depend entirely on your specialization within mechanical engineering. So I can't get the keywords for this one, and I'm sorry. You did say that you are on a visa and you need to make a certain amount of money. What do you be able to in the UK? The answer is, I am a US-based recruiter. I don't know the UK's average salary. I don't know what's good in the UK or what's not. I am US-based. If you're in the United States, I could probably answer that, which is arguably anything above 65K is phenomenal for an entry-level mechanical engineer. Sometimes it can go to 70, 75, but that really depends on the location. But I don't know in the UK. So we're going to do entirely formatting, which I know is probably not the biggest help, but I need people to be very, very specific in the job titles, because if I find like 3 or 4 job titles that all have different qualifications, I cannot find the keywords for you, because I do this, on stream live. So let me at least review the formatting. So, education, this should be 1 line. This actually awarded a merit scholarship. This one's good. You can keep it 2 lines, keep that. This shouldn't be bolded though. Again, the formatting's a little off. It should look like this ideally. Projects, again, this is okay. This should not be bolded. You do not want to bold everything in your resume. It's going to look way worse. So, led a 10-plus member team for 2 years, competing in the National Rover Trials and reached the finals. That's neat, but I don't know what you did on it. I guess it is just a Mars rover? Designed a rover that met 100% competent requirements. What were those requirements? Scored the highest. See, the problem is this is all like... This doesn't tell me necessarily what I would really want. It's okay to have led a 10-member team. It's okay to say what you did, but I need some keywords or something here. And I know I wouldn't be able to tell them, but there's like nothing here. Because unless you're working specifically in like Mars roving design bots, which again, I don't know what that would be. Developed rover subsystem using SolidWorks. SolidWorks and CAD are probably going to be one. Vibration tables, manufactured. So yeah, I need you to know, like, here's sort of right here. This is the most important part is, what did you do? Like, what part of the systems did you work on? Because a circuit designer is going to have different keywords, like I said, than a wheel or an engine designer. And right now it just says Mars rover. I don't know enough about the Mars rover until I get to this one. But this is also like your last bullet point here, which is design system architect. Did you I assume you mean like the coding and stuff, right? But was that also circuit design? Because those are different things. Developed a Python route for debris space removal in LEO. Again, I don't know what LEO is, but Python route. So this sounds closer to, I think this is closer to an embedded engineer, but I don't really know. And I think that's part of the reason you're having some issues is, well, partly because you said you need a visa, and it's always difficult when you have a visa, but I don't know really what kind of specialization you've been working on, and I can't really tell. I think it's like circuit, like internal embedded system. So I'm going to assume this is going to be embedded systems. But when you submit, you need to be very specific. You need to be very clear on what your duties are and how you did them, because jobs are specialized. You could be the best engine designer in the world, but if you're applying to a paint chemist, they're not going to care. And again, I'm stealing this one, but if it's like going to a burger place, asking for a burger and fries, and they give you a pizza and a soda, and it's like, cool, I wanted a burger and fries with no drink, but you're giving me a pizza and a soda. So that's kind of what this is now, is I don't even know what I want to give to you. So I hope that made sense. But yeah, these bullet points are not really great. So, because like hosted a webinar, okay, that's cool, but like, how is that related? You need to focus on the resume of what type of stuff you're going for. If you're focusing on circuit design, I need to see stuff on circuit design. If you're focusing on embedded design, I need to see some coding. I need to see actual design and stuff like that. If you're focusing on engines, I need to see stuff about engines, because right now I just see everything, and everything will not get you a job. It needs to be specific. So resubmit when you can pick a specialization in the field that I can find. And also, you do need to change your resume to whatever that would be. And I will see you all in the next video. Before I do, just please subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you need more help, come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. That is when I do my live stream at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I look forward to helping you all out. I want you all to get a job. I had a success story today in chat, and I want to hear more of them. So, see you next video.